Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to EA Tetragrammaton, where we are playing It is turn 112. Let's jump into things. Okay, so we've got a whole lot of stuff going on this turn. Let's just hit it. We've done a mine hunt, caught Ansarin, which I believe was a Rakshasa, and killed Ansarin the Rakshasa. Awesome. To reason, didn't find anything with the Dark Knowledge. Didn't find anything with another Dark Knowledge. Third Dark Knowledge, nope. Lich 10 was attacked, but resisted. Mind Hunt. And I think that's it. Cool. Fantastic. Got a couple of Blood Slaves, but not enough to really do anything with. Unfortunate. And then we have a whole bunch of battles all across everywhere, so let's get to it. We attacked with a little raiding party in Greendale. Cool. Let's just watch this, just because I didn't actually watch it. I just kind of want to see how it goes. So, a bunch of people all stuck together, and I believe this is just going to be basically, they get so many attacks per square. Yeah, that is just, it's just annihilation. Very nice. Stabby boys. 6 length 4, 11 attack, 15 damage, pokes, pretty much per square. Pretty awesome. Okay, next up we have an attack in Villia, where a giant mummy has gotten us. Villia. Ah, right. I didn't actually mean to leave both of those scouts in siege mode there. That's my bad. But it did mean that he had to come in with a Bloodthorn. Is this just like is this for the partial life drain, I suppose? That why we're, because it's, you know, it's only 15 blood slaves, so if you have a full blood economy, I guess that would. What, is that how I win? Is that how in the long run I win? Is just the fact that I don't have a blood economy. So eventually Hinam and fucking no, that's stupid. That's absolutely dumb. Eventually Hinam and Lanka just lose because they blood hunt their lands to oblivion. Oh, that'd be fucking funny. I don't think that works. Flame eruption. Nice. That was cool. Okay. We have taken control of Shambolic. We've taken control of Tyrannia. And then we have a battle in Komsath, where a Tartarian Titan takes on some team. We're attacked in Wick Forest by a Heliophagus. Can't really compete with that. We are attacked in Tesiphon by an Archdevil, a Raksharaja, and 2 Vampire Lords. We kill 2 Vampire Lords and then die. Let's watch this. Come on. This is actually just interesting in the way that it works out, right? So, we've got the Raksharaja with the kit that he's been using. Flesh Eaters primarily. Flesh Eaters, almost identical kit, but on the Archdevil, he's got the regeneration for Phoenix Pyre. So they're very killy, not defensive, very killy. So we've got this mass of thralls and Inkidus coming forward, right? Soul Vortex, and the hordes of skeletons begin to come out. Cool, great, fantastic. Blank. And then the Raksharaja and the Archdevil go up. And the Archdevil's gonna land back here and kill both of these individuals. Easy peasy. Right? The Raksharaja lands down here and starts to fight these guys. The problem is both of these Vampire Lords who really don't have a lot going on. They've got invulnerability 25, I guess. But there's just so many attacks coming in, and the pitchforks actually hit relatively hard. Yeah, so they get killed. And then the Archdevil kills the leadership, and everyone just routes. Easy peasy. But, you know, whatever. I'll take that, honestly. We attack in Delka and lose because we run into a Lich and 2 Vampire Lords. And this is really purely because of the Lich and 2 Vampire Lords causing there to be more chaff than we can handle. Because the initial water elementals take out basically what would have been there. But the additional chaff gets around on the side and actually, you know, pretty much kills the 2. No big deal. Lose 2 Ishibs. Water bracelets. So that's Delka. We take control of Agartha. Take control of Greenwoods. There's a battle in Oak Beach. This is a fun one. Our Monstrum comes on in. Iron Skin, Temper Flesh, Fire Shield, Summon Earth Power, and into the back line. Lands, and the big thing here is this is not an especially well-protected individual. It's just got a shit ton of regeneration. So it just and it's got a shit ton of HP actually. It's never gonna regen because it's never gonna get to its actual regeneration point. All right, easy route, easy peasy. So that's at Oak Beach, and basically what we're doing is we're trying to disrupt Lanka's disrupt Lanka's blood hunting, disrupt their pathing, etc., etc. Pull up. My music is in a momento. Okay. Back to what we were doing. There is a battle in Sleepy Wolds. So we had sent, remember, we had sent a tart to back up our other tart. But that was in the hopes that we were going to run up against something like a bunch of enemies, a bunch of regular units, maybe like some Palankashas or something like that. But unfortunately, we get the Raksharajas instead. So, there are 3 Raksharajas here, and just like between Flesh Eaters and Holy Scourges and stuff like that, these guys have, 1, they have magic attacks, and that was what we were trying to kind of like exploit, and 2, it just hits so fucking hard. It's bad news bears. So we go through our little plan: body ethereal, personal regeneration, astral shield, regeneration. And this is where one of the initial problems is that I wasn't paying attention, and this tart is significantly faster than this tart is. Got a limp. So that is a problem because he gets outpaced. And as he gets outpaced, this tart closes and immediately drops. Now, this tart actually comes and mollywops one of these guys. Oh, does not mollywop him. Fear bombs him, I guess. But is able to drive one off while the other one is stunned. So if the 2 tarts had met together, at these three Raksharajas together, they maybe could have survived. I still think we probably would have lost, but it would have been a toss-up at that point, right? But because of the situation, because of how that kind of went down, we lost our shield. We basically just doomed the Tartarians to failure. So we lose that. We do, however, successfully retreat to Oak Beach, of all places, unfortunately. Then we attack in Feral Woods, and we win. That's a simple raid. We are attacked in Rim Mountains and lose. We are attacked in Ial and lose. We attack in Lithia and lose. And this is interesting. We attack in Lithia, and we lose to a very well placed Yogini, who just immediately goes, boom, Ravenous Swarm. And Ravenous Swarm is just gonna fuck up this vampire. So boom, Ravenous Swarm, 23 damage. Boom, Ravenous Swarm, 23 damage. Get fucked. Now, if we had managed to get a horde of skeletons out, then we might have been able to survive, but unlikely. So that was well placed. Nice Yogini there. We attacked in Urfel and won. We were attacked in Mictlan, and now we've got the big fight of the turn. White Forest. Let's watch this. Okay, cool. We've got our forces all arrayed. We've got a big ass army from Hinam. Let's talk about what is in this army. The big points here being, obviously there's a lot of undead, right? There are a lot of long dead Rephites here, which have a lot of health and they hit really hard. Very buffable, but they have crappy attack density. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. We've got a lot of living statues, which are pretty nice. We've got a lot of Seirs, which are very nice. Very, very, very good unit. And then we've got a fair chunk of Rephite warriors. And I think some Dawn Guard. Yeah, Dawn Guard. Okay. The big players here being, though, the 4 Gregory and Moloch Baal, the Golden Idol, the god of Hinnom. Ah, shit. Okay. Alright. Okay. Damn. So that's a lot. And obviously there's just a lot of Amis here. There's a lot of Baals, period. There's a lot of magic here. So let's just kind of watch from like a high level situation. We'll just watch the whole battle play out, and we'll go from there. And then we'll do a review, because this battle was decided far before the fight ever began. So we get a demon cleansing from my side, a relief from his side. He got a Will of the Fates up earlier. Gets a heat from hell up. We get our natural storm up. He gets a howl up. Let's actually do this real quick. Boom. That is his master and slave, not my master and slave. And it actually comes out, I think. Yeah, it comes out before my army of lead does. So that's a problem. That's absolutely a problem. That is master and slave going off before I have a magic resistance buff up. So you need to think about that in the future. Okay. We get a blood rain out. Okay. We get a relief from our side. We get a howl from our side. We get our army of lead up now. And we get our master and slave. We do not get very many people here. I'm probably gonna stop using master and slave. Master and slave is amazing. It's great. You need penetration. You need to maximize the amount of pen that you have going into it so that you can get more people, right? Doing it as a base where we're at right now is not very efficient. It's not doing much. We did get some of our own people back there, and we did get a handful. It's hard to see because of our colors being shared, but we got a couple of individuals in here. We've got this Horite Shaman. We've got an Ami, right? We pick up a couple of guys on the wings, etc. So we do get a couple here or there, just not a whole lot. You're also going to notice that his master and slave getting people around the perimeter of my group is causing me to spend a lot of time thunder striking those enemies rather than thunder striking the enemy, which is also a problem. Howl goes up. We've got a fair number of blade winds coming out from his side. A lot of pillars of fire as well. Bunch of blade winds start coming out, and we can see there are people routing in my rear now. We've got Semyaza the Grigory over here, and this guy is he's insanity, right? But the big thing he's got going on right now is Fear 40. We get Mist of Deception from Ezekiel the Grigory. Our Howl is somewhat helping out back here. We get Mist of Deception from my side. And we can kind of now see that there's not a lot coming out from my stuff. We're getting little bursts here or there. But it is mostly him pushing forward. And we're getting a lot of sporadic routing. A lot of sporadic routing. Some gifts from heaven, it looks like. And now it's not really sporadic routing anymore. It's pretty much full-blown routing. So we'll just go ahead and speed through. And that is, as they say, that. Okay, so what happened? Well, we'll go back into that. And like I said, the battle was already lost before it really started. We know that because we can check. Well, I say that we know that. What I'm looking for here is morale, right? This unit has a base morale of 12. Okay? We're in hostile dominion, so it's a -1, sure. But it's a squad morale bonus. It's who he's being led by is giving him a +3. Okay? So his base morale with a +3 would be 15. In hostile dominion would be 14. But his current morale is 9. Okay? Current morale 9. Current morale 6. Right? Should be base morale 9 with a +3 for experience and a -1. So should be sitting at 11. Sitting at 6. Right? Sitting at 4. Sitting at 9, 9, at 30. You don't count. Sitting at 5. Sitting at 10. Sitting at 9. Sitting at 9. So, Dark Skies basically fucks us from the beginning. Right? So Dark Skies is the global where you have -1 point of morale. And we knew he had Dark Skies up. We were kind of chancing this in the hope hope against hope that we were going to be able to fight it out anyways. But a couple of different things happen to make sure that that is not the case. One is that we just get this right here off at the start, right? This master and slave really messes us up. Messes us up. Because it gets a couple of individuals inside our formation who basically immediately die because they just get popped. But it gets a pretty solid outer line around our formation, including an Oogaloo, Ishibs. Like, it actually gets a lot of people here, which is very unfortunate. It gets like a full outer line all the way around our force. What that does is that, well, one, it focuses a lot of the attention from the units that we have. We do not have an immediate press forward, which we needed, right? But it also means like we're blasting like thunder strikes and things like that down into our own units. But the big thing here is very early on, we get a Blood Rain, okay? So now we have Dark Skies and a Blood Rain. We can see units who have really good experience bonuses and squad morale bonus, right? This unit would be 14, this 17, 16 normally, is sitting at 7 morale. So minus 9 morale between the Dark Skies and the Blood Rain. Okay, so that's a big deal. Those are all really, really bad morales. And you look at other things, like this guy's sitting at 4, right? That guy's a 3. That guy's a 2. That guy's a 3. That guy's a 9. Okay, so our morale is just abysmal. And we start to rout a little bit. And then this Grigory comes into our back. And this Grigory has Fear 40. Which is, the higher your fear, the higher the kind of like sporadic AoE of your fear, but also the more the decrease of your fear, right? The more powerful your fear. And he basically gets into our back line, and anything that didn't break, you start to just see everything just slowly but surely breaks. Slowly but surely breaks. We, once again, much like the Lanka fight, the Sleepy Wolves fight, we don't really fight. We spend about 30 turns or so not really fighting. We do our initial scripts, and in the course of basically the first 10 turns of the battle, we're all but broken. And routing, and everything after that is basically just cleanup. We lose 186 units to 48 units, which is a pretty bad ratio. And of course, most of the units that he loses are just chaff. He loses 1 Ketasim, he loses 1 Horite Shaman, he loses 1 Ami. All the rest of it's just chaff, whatever. A lot of it's, I say a lot of it, some of it, 12 Guards were my Guards, right? An Ishib was mine, a Gudu was mine. 2 Enkidu Spear Guards, those are mine. 2 Enkidu's Chosen, those are mine, right? So a lot of that he lost was my stuff. And then we lose, of course, a fair number of infantry, but we lose a shit ton of mages, right? We lose 7 Crystal Sorceresses, 11 Gudus, 3 Ishibs, a Jade Lizard, a Lich, 5 Shamans, 1 of our Oogaloos, our Vampire Lord, etc. So that's really, really bad. That's really rough. That being said, I think we would have lost this battle regardless. Even without the Dark Skies Blood Rain morale break, I think we would have lost, period. I think we would have gotten bottlenecked in the in the fortification entrance, and then I don't think we would have been able to deal with the Grigories at the end of the day, honestly. I think we probably just would have died. Now, with what we have, with the kind of like combos we have of like regeneration and Army of Lead and having Mist of Deception up and Life for a Life up and things like that, I think we would have been able to bleed him down quite a bit. But I think we still would have lost to the Grigories in the long run. But, you know, we may never know. Because once again, it's like these late game fights aren't art fights. They're just fear bombs. And I can do that too, right? Like if someone comes into my territory, I can just basically do the exact same thing. We're reaching a very weird part of the game, where. So I made a fucking statement where I was pretty sure that it was gonna be determined by turn 115, either I was gonna win or I was gonna lose, and it would be clear that, you know, the game wouldn't be over, but I wasn't gonna win, right? I don't know that that's the case anymore. These losses are painful losses, yes, but they're not end-all, be-all losses, right? They might be, right? Henon might be able to just destroy the remnants of this army and then chase us into our own territory, and we might not be able to stop him. But we might be able to stop him. Let's go ahead and finish up the rest of the messages, and then we'll talk about kind of where the state of the game is at. Okay. So Nazar II found someone scrying and cut their cord. Fuck that guy. We saw 7 white doves flying east in Underspring, so it's an omen of good rapport. General has -2 Dominion. Assad has -2 Dominion. Oof. We found some false prophets in Kunaral. We completed a bunch of different constructions, a bunch of different palisades and rock walls and things like that. Oak Beach is unharmed. Shambolic is unharmed. Ctesiphon's unharmed. White Forest is now, you know, not a thing, but Raphabolia is breached. Okay, let's talk about stuff. Let's start by going to Raphabolia, where we are moving everyone off of the city and into Ivermark. Why? Because we're gonna lose if we attack. We might not, right? There is the chance that we win. There is a chance that we win. There's a chance that that he's less prepared here than he is in White Forest, but I don't necessarily think that that's really going to be the case. Also, in White Forest, there are only 6 candles, and in Raphabolia, there are 9 candles for Dark Skies. So, if you take a look at Dark Skies, it's enemy morale is lowered by 1 for each point of Dominion, and it causes slight darkness in battles. So, yeah, that's a big deal for us. And we're probably just going to be throwing away this army if we attack in Raphabolia. And it's at this point, if we had taken White Forest by the skin of our teeth, if we had taken Sleepy Wolds by the skin of our teeth, sure, absolutely I would just push and try to take Raphabolia. But we haven't. We've lost both of those battles, so I don't see the point in trying to take this battle. So instead, we're going to change tactics. The concept of the game being over by turn 115, we're ditching that concept. I say that we're ditching the concept, but this might already be the death knell. This might be the statement, right? We no longer have Nature's Bounty. We no longer have massive stockpiles. We no longer have Well of Misery, right? We can't make the same kind of movements that we were hoping to be able to make 10, 15 turns ago. They're just not possible anymore. So we are going to change tactics, but I don't know that these tactics are going to work. This might just be the slow decay until the game is done. But what it seems... What seems reasonable to me is it seems like we're not going to win on a large army front in the short term. And that is to say, like, having massive armies moving on to throne provinces isn't going to be the way that we're going to win in the short term. Okay? We're going to have to look for opportunities, and we're going to have to, and this is what I think is probably going to be one of the bigger things, we're going to have to dom push people, right? We are going to have to take border provinces. Like, what our current plan is we're going to move from Raphabolia into Ivermark, and then we're either going to hit Halbothria or we're going to hit Jaburnia. The goal being is that we're going to basically attack these less well-defended forts and take them, and then we are going to get a temple down, and we're going to dom push, and we're going to do it again, right? We're going to get a temple down, and we're going to dom push, and then we're going to get a temple down, and we're going to dom push, right? We're going to try to steal these locations and slowly but surely make him fight, because we have a great strength in Gift of Health still, until we also lose that. And if we can continue to fight in that great strength, then we have a lot of bonuses. Also, if we're not fighting in his Dark Skies, we don't have to worry about the massive morale bombs as much, right? So that's the current plan. We're going to try to defy the idea that we're gonna attack in Raphabolia. We're gonna pull off, hit Ivermark, and we're going to. And why are we hitting Ivermark? We're hitting Ivermark because it's very likely that we're just gonna scatter this province without too much issue. Tart 3 is attending a funeral, so they get to do nothing. Up here in the and to promote or to reinforce that kind of like that idea of we're gonna dom push, I'm actually sending Ishib 77 down here with our miraculous cure-all elixir to Flower Meadow Fortress. He's just gonna sit there and he's gonna preach to try to help push our dominion in this area, right? We can see this was actually a really good turn for some dom push, but it's in a direction that we don't really care about. It's into Relay's territory, into the underwater. But I think this is kind of like the overall concept. This is the overall goal, right? We want to start taking border forts, and we want to push our dominion, and we want to attrition the enemy. I hate saying this, but we're playing the long game. Oh, God. Going up to the Pangean front, right? This army is now has to be in full retreat. We are moving to Wick Forest. Hopefully this army won't get magic phased and popped. If it does, there's not really a whole lot that we can do about it. Truth be told, I've done some setting up to where I'm gonna hope that. I'm going to hope that we are able to actually defend this army. But it's kind of... what happened to it was it lost all of its gems and it lost all of its cohesion. We can't really do all of the buffs that we had been doing previously. And the generalized hope is going to have to be to just make it out. So if we get magic phased by a bunch of Grigories, it's probably going to be really bad. The kind of like silver lining is in Andoria there are no candles, so you know right now our morale is not horribly broken. And then we have the Memoria front, just kind of the massive amount of movement. This is, I'm not going to cover every single one of those. We're already 34 minutes into this. I'm not going to cover every single thing that we're doing. Most of these are just counter raids and raids with vampires and liches, right? That's going to continue to happen until he kills all my vampires and liches, or I kill all of his vampires and liches. Oh wait, they're all immortal, so they gotta get soul slayed, which is gonna take a long time, right? So that's what a lot of this is. Let's talk about some of the other things. We are countering these three. Hopefully they don't stick around, but we're gonna move our vamp into Delca and see how that goes. We're also moving Bone 6 into Eal because we're mind hunting both of these Raksharajas. We've come to find out that Raksharajas are very good mind hunt targets, so we're going to keep doing that, and hopefully we will be able to pare down a good amount of his Raksharajas. And now he can keep producing Raksharajas. Take a look. I think he can pop those anywhere. Devil in the detail. No, Raksharaja is cap only. So every Raksharaja that he loses is a cap only unit. But at this point, I mean, they're not slow to recruit. We're 112 turns in the game. I'm assuming he's got a lot of Raksharajas. It's not really a big problem. So yeah, I'm not thinking that that's gonna be the end all be all. But every single Raksharaja that he has, that he sends at us, comes with gear, you know? So everyone that he loses, everyone that we mind hunt, that is a unit that he can only produce in his capital, and that's a set of gear that he has lost. A lot of that gear is pretty cheap, so it's probably not that big of a deal, but it's attrition. So we're also mind hunting this Yogini down here. And we are doing that because got this Yogini, right? These guys can be produced pretty much anywhere. So it's not a great target to mind hunt, in that it's very replaceable, and it's very, unfortunately, these guys are real good at what they do. They're very cheap to kill liches and vampires with. The only thing is that they only have 12 magic resistance. So, and they do cost 150 gold, right? So they are somewhat, actually, they're really, truth be told, these guys are really fucking cheap for the fact that they have 4 paths. That's insane. 150 gold for a 4-path mage? That's fucking dope. That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good. But the reason why we're mind hunting is because they have very low magic resistance, so it's likely to be a success. Just a easy victory. We continue to move units towards we continue to move other units towards we've been attacked in Ctesiphon, so we're breaking siege here, and this is actually we're just disintegrating. If he sticks around, right, anything that he sticks around with is going to be able to kill a bunch of skeletons. But if he sticks around with something, we could disintegrate. We only need 1, you know, and we've got 25. And we have some air elementals coming out to provide annoyance support, because his sacred, his bless does have shock resistance in it, but if it's like an archdevil or something like that, then he might not have it. So that's what we're doing in Ctesiphon, and in we're continuing to do most of our normal stuff. A single Lichcraft, a single Tartarian, a single Gift of Reason on a Tartarian Titan, the sickle kind, which looking forward to. That should be cool. We're doing more forging, more parts for fuck, my mind is blanking. We're forging more parts for super combatants and thugs and things like that, but we're also forging some more things like Starshine Skullcaps. We're forging more things like, I think up here we're forging water lenses, right? We're trying to get, again, playing that long haul. So right now, water is kind of our big thing that we have a whole lot of access to. So we're trying to focus on getting a lot of additional water stuff. Probably going to do a lot of water lenses. Make sure everyone that can use a bracelet has a water bracelet. Water lenses will allow us to have additional free water gems. And then we'll probably move into producing things like coral blades or fucking, I don't know, cross brands for everyone. Screw it. Just turning the amount of water gems that we have into strength, into combat strength. Doing more Yetis, which is basically the same type of situation. And then we have a couple of interesting things that we've got these two Monstrums. One has been kitted out with a Starshine Skullcap, so he is Astral 3. Ring of Regeneration, Storm Spool, just cuz. And then we've got Tart 13 over here, who has Ring of Regeneration, Dragon Helm, and Warrior. And they're going to be moving into deeper sets of Lunken land. So the plan here is we've been doing a couple turns of raiding back and forth. He's losing some, I'm losing some. That's fine, whatever. What we are trying to do is we're trying to penetrate deeper into his territory. Okay? Being the situation that I feel like we have had the upper hand on luckily defeating some of his raids with our very high PD, very strong PD, that type of situation. And now we're going to try to hit him where it hurts. We're going to try to start hitting into some of his interior locations. So we've got one Monstrum heading into Talito. We've got Tart 10 down here that is heading into Histria. And then we have our other Tart, the Astral one, Tart 12, that is actually teleporting onto Omia. And hopefully these three will go well, and we'll have this kind of like little bottle of situation. And I don't anticipate that they're going to survive forever. Obviously, they're going to die. But the hope is that they will take some time to die, that they'll take a couple of provinces, and he'll have to formulate a plan to deal with them. Unfortunately, Tart 4 over here is probably going to die. He has lost an arm. He lost both arms. He has a useless kick and lightning. Great. A chest wound and a limp. And he is sieging. He is, once again, fucking shattered his damn soul, so he refuses to do anything that... Great. Great. So, our plan is to continue the raiding war against Lanka and try to slowly push in and take some, probably try to like push in and take Shambolic, right? Try to obviously push in and take Sleepy Wolds. But the goal is to, again, just continue to raid, counter raid, and make incremental gains and then push our Dominion. And we're going to switch over to that kind of plan as well with Hinam. The problem with Hinam is we have this massive border with Hinam that is going to be very difficult for us to really try to kind of like find opportunities. But we can see he has this kind of like peninsula into our lands in between Tirnanog and Kailasa. So I think this is going to be the first goal is going to be to create the wall, right? Create a wall of resistance of our Dominion, and then we look for opportunities where our Dominion pushes forward and we try to exploit that. So that's going to be the goal. I think probably Jaburnia is going to be our first one because it's simple, it's there, it's close, and if we need to, we can retreat out. I have alternatively, I have contacted Lanka, and obviously, like, this probably isn't going to be great, but I have contacted Lanka. I'm probably going to contact Relay and talk to them about, hey, look, I know technically we're all at a giant world war at this point, but just because we're all fighting doesn't mean we can't work towards similar goals. The current goal that I have is getting fucking rid of Arcane Nexus. We should have done this ages ago, but we need to get rid of Arcane Nexus because it's feeding way too much into Hinnom. And with it feeding so much into Hinnom, I think Hinnom might win in the long run. I think Hinnom might actually just, like, slowly but surely expend Lanka and I. Especially now that Lanka and I are at war. Yeah, I don't know. This game is gonna turn into a 30-year monstrosity of a game. I don't know how to deal with it, truth be told. I'm considering stopping the utilization of nature gems for 3 or 4 turns and trying to put up Nature's Bounty again. But the problem is I think if I try to do that, Hinnom with Arcane Nexus has basically free mastery over what he wants to dispel now. So that's the next goal. So current game mindset is consolidate, try to start fighting more in our dominion. Raid into Lanka's, push for border forts, and put temples up in those border forts to try to push my dominion. And then try to see if I can't work with people to get Arcane Nexus down and go from there. Those are the current plans. Man, this game's going on forever. I said this kind of like in this half amusement kind of situation, but I am now like legitimately curious about the concept. Hinnom and Lanka obviously have put a lot into blood, and I just haven't. I'm curious as to whether there is a situation where eventually their income just goes so south because they've had to blood hunt their lands down to a point to where, you know, they can't afford things anymore. I don't think that's gonna happen. I need to also start protecting I need to put some domes up and start protecting my population. That'll be a thing for next turn. Anyways, I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.